What is the most important place on Earth? This is the world's most dangerous and powerful point. To control this 30-mile strip is to control the world, and to block it is to choke the world. Welcome to the Strait of Hormuz. It's me, and you're watching this channel. Let's find out why. The Strait of Hormuz is the world's most strategic choke point. To understand why, we need to start with geography. What even is a strait? A strait is a narrow sea passage connecting to larger bodies of water, like a hallway connecting to rooms. In this case, the Persian Gulf and the Gulf of Oman. Together, they form a gigantic upside-down Y. So now we know what it is. But what makes it so important? Why do countries care so much about controlling it? Well, it's all about supply and demand. Here's a map showing the amount of tankers that pass through daily. At any given time, more than 200 tankers pass through here. They transport oil from the Persian Gulf to the rest of the world. Controlling this strait is like controlling the water flow in your house. Turn off the water to the washing machine, and suddenly you have an awful lot more free time. The Strait of Hormuz connects the oil fields of the Middle East to international markets. It's also the only sea route connecting the Gulf to the Indian Ocean. More than 20 million barrels of oil pass through the strait every day. That's enough to supply the entire United States plus China, Japan, India, South Korea, and Turkey. If you turned off the oil here, you would turn off these countries' economies. You would cause a global crisis, likely a war, and probably an ice age. There are other choke points, like the Suez Canal, but none are as dangerous as Hormuz. Here is a recap of what happened when a container ship blocked the Suez Canal in March 2021. This caused a massive backup. Dozens of ships were stuck waiting to pass through. The longer they waited, the more money they lost. Container ships had to be rerouted around Africa, which took days. The cost of oil increased. Businesses suffered. The global economy began to crumble. After 6 days, the ship was freed and traffic returned to normal. When ships are stuck, fuel starts to run out. Planes can't fly, cars can't drive, and factories can't produce. When the strait is blocked, the price of oil rises quickly. This hits poor nations hardest. Imagine your country depending on oil passing through a 30-mile stretch of water controlled by another nation. That's how many countries feel today. If the Strait of Hormuz is blocked, the price of oil could rise $100 or more per barrel. It could cause the world's economy to collapse. So who controls the strait? The answer is Iran. 8 islands surround the Strait of Hormuz. 7 are under Iran's control. As tankers approach the strait, they must pass close to these Iranian islands. This gives Iran military superiority. They can easily detect ships using radar. Then they can direct their navy to intercept. Here's a look at the strait from Google Earth. This is the main shipping lane. In the center, it's about 21 miles wide. On either side, there's a smaller channel. The big question is, what would it take to block the strait? Well, not much. One ship can block the entire thing. Just park your boat in the middle of the road and boom, you win. It's also possible that a group of small boats could do it. We haven't seen this happen yet. But if it did, the world would descend into chaos. A blockade could also be caused by mines. Mines are cheap and effective. A few well-placed explosives could destroy dozens of ships. If Iran ever decided to attack, this would be their first move. Then there are ballistic missiles. Iran has hundreds of missiles pointed at the strait. If they fired enough of them, they could destroy every single ship in the area. However, this is an extreme option because it would cut off Iran's access to the sea. The last and most likely scenario is a natural disaster. Earthquakes are common in the region. An earthquake combined with a tsunami could destroy ports and sink ships. This would disrupt the flow of oil. It would send shockwaves across the world economy and trigger a global crisis. So the people of the region are constantly on edge. For decades, the United States Navy has patrolled the strait. Their job is simple: make sure nothing happens. If something does happen, then it's up to the US military to restore order. Operation Earnest Will is a US mission in the Persian Gulf. It's designed to protect merchant ships passing through the strait. In 2016, tensions rose when Iran seized two boats carrying whiskey. Was this an act of piracy or a message to the US? Not long after, a US warship sailed through the strait. Iran responded by launching missiles into the water. Nobody was hurt. But the message was clear. Iran is capable of attacking. They will not allow US warships near their shores. Not even the mighty United States can control the Strait of Hormuz. They've tried. In the early 1950s, the British controlled the region. They wanted to build a pipeline across Iraq and Turkey. This would have allowed them to bypass Hormuz. But Iran refused, causing a diplomatic crisis. Great Britain asked the United States for help. Together, they devised a plan called Operation Ajax. The US helped overthrow Iran's prime minister and install a new leader, Mohammad Pahlavi. The Shah quickly approved the pipeline. This caused protests. Iranians flooded the streets demanding democracy, but the Shah ignored them. He cracked down on protesters with his secret police. People were arrested, tortured, and killed. The situation became so bad that the US had to evacuate its embassy. Eventually, the Shah was overthrown and an Islamic Republic was established. But that's a story for another day. Today, the Strait of Hormuz remains a mystery. We don't know what would happen if it was blocked. Thankfully, it's never been tested. But we do know the consequences would be terrible. Countries around the world would begin fighting. Wars would break out. Chaos would ensue. So let's hope it never happens. The world economy depends on it. Now it's time to meet some giants. These men control the Strait of Hormuz. This is the King of Norway. His country owns the largest tanker fleet in the world. He decides where the oil goes and how much it costs. This is the President of Brazil. His country has the second largest fleet. He decides which companies get the oil and how much they pay. This is the Sheikh of Dubai. He owns the third largest fleet in the world. He decides how the oil is transported and how it's sold. Between them, they own hundreds of ships. They carry more than 20 million barrels of oil every day. It's a powerful position to be in. But it comes with a heavy responsibility. The safety of the world rests on their shoulders. One wrong move, and the price of oil could skyrocket. People could die. Countries could collapse. Economies could crash. Every day they put their lives on the line to keep the oil flowing. They work with the US military to protect the strait. If anything happens, the military will restore order. But the giants aren't worried. They know that the strait is safe. For now, the world relies on these 30 miles of water. It's a lifeline for the global economy. It keeps the oil flowing and the lights on. Without it, our world couldn't function. If it disappeared tomorrow, we wouldn't survive a week. The Strait of Hormuz is the most important place in the world. It's more important than New York, London, Tokyo, or Paris. It's more important than the White House, Buckingham Palace, or the Kremlin. It's more important than gold, diamonds, oil, or gas. It's more important than food, water, land, or air. It's more important than life itself. Without the Strait of Hormuz, we would die. It may be just 30 miles long, but it's the most powerful stretch of water on planet Earth. The Strait of Hormuz is a superpower. It controls the world's energy, and those who control it control the world. Now check out another recent video I made about the secret Russian base in Cuba, or watch another video about the real reason why North Korea attacked the US ship.